次はイレイン・ブレデホフトの番ですね。この子はちょっと弁護士としていまいちらしい。少なくともこの裁判の場合では。でも彼女のおかげで面白いシーンがたくさん増えたから、逆に憎めないよね。もう本当にこのおばさんのおかげでミームがたくさん増えちゃった。
The evidence in this case, simply put, is overwhelming and compelling. In the 6 weeks, we're going to try to show you as much as we possibly can. There are many, many, many photographs. Now, you heard Ms. Vasquez try to say, you can't trust those, it's not the originals. She's got that wrong. It's not from the original devices. Ms. Heard took all kinds of photographs, and her friends took photographs, and all of those remained on the cloud, and all of them have been imaged, and all of them have been examined by their IT experts, and they cannot discredit one photograph. Then she says, and it's got a photo editing thing. Well, all iPhones have the photo editing. It's where you can make it a little lighter or darker, you can move it to the center or not. That doesn't discredit the photographs, and we will have an IT expert who will testify that all of these are legitimate, authentic photographs. Not only that, but Ms. Heard produced all of her different devices over the years, including her most recent laptop, and they were pulled from many, many sources, and all of them are identical. So if she was going to go in and try to manipulate, she would have had to do it everywhere. And Ms. Heard will tell you she doesn't have that level of talent. There may be a couple of you on the jury who have that talent. She does not have that talent. And they show bruises, and they show cut lips. They show hair pulled out of her hair. They show all kinds they show 2 black eyes when he headbutted her. Those are all going to be there. And he's on a tear. And he's going around, he's yelling at her and being abusive to her, and he's slamming the kitchen cupboards, and they're glass. And you can hear them rattling, and you can hear them breaking. Then he goes over with a big glass of wine, and he has a huge bottle of wine, and he pours more in there. And then she says, "Did you drink all of that?" And then he sees that she's videotaping him, and bam. That's going to be a pretty graphic one for you to see. Then you're going to hear audio tapes, which are pretty significant too. Ben told you about the May 2014 Boston plane incident, we call it, where he kicked her, where he was so drunk and he blacked out. Well, Amber audio taped him when he went to the back of the plane and passed out and was moaning loudly. You will hear that. You will also hear some other audio tapes that are very significant. One of them in Australia, at the end of the 3-day hostage situation. You will hear, apparently Mr. Depp turned on Ms. Heard's iPhone. She was never allowed to have a password, by the way. He would never let her do that during their relationship, but he must have inadvertently turned it on. There's 5 hours of audio tape. It's during the cleanup of all the broken glass and the liquor and the urine and the blood stains and everything else in that house. And you can hear his handlers talking about it. You can hear them talking about trying to find his finger. And that you can hear them say, "She's stone cold sober." That's the list of the medications he takes in one day that they prescribe. That doesn't include the cocaine. It doesn't include the ecstasy, the MDMA, the mushrooms, and all of the others. Now, it's during these rages that Mr. Depp engaged in verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse of Amber.
とにかくイレインさんはアンバーについて話し始める。彼女はテキサス州オースティン市郊外にある町で育てられた。彼女は父親と一緒に馬に乗り、乗馬の手伝いもしていた。乗馬していた時に重要なことを学んだ。恐怖、痛み、感情を見せちゃダメだと父親に教わった。それが彼女の本能になった。立ち上がって彼から痛み、恐怖、恥を受けたと見せなかった。その頃、ラムダイアリーの頃、その頃ね、彼女はターシャ・ヴァン・レイと長期恋愛関係にあり、彼はヴァネッサ・パラディと長期恋愛関係にあった。どうやらアンバー・ハードは、バイセクシャルらしい、つまり男性も女性も好きタイプですね。で、他人の動画を見て、こういうコメントを見た。アンバー・ハードはレズビアンだけど金持ちの男性に出会うといきなりのんきになるとかそういうコメントも結構見たかな。当時は2人同士の恋愛関係にはなかった。 年後、映画公開宣伝ツアーが始まった頃、彼女は彼と再会し、一緒にツアーに同行した。当時は彼女はターシャとの関係が終わり、彼もバネッサとの関係が終わった頃だった。その頃、二人は付き合い始め、恋に落ちたと二人とも言ってる。映画でよく見るジョニーの方が大好きだった。カリスマ性があり、チャーミングで気前がいい方のジョニー、そっちの男と恋に落ちた。しかし、残念ながらモンスターが邪魔をした。彼がアルコールを飲み、ドラッグをすると、そのモンスターが現れた。アンバーは初めて虐待された時を決して忘れない。決して忘れない。スイスにある彼の家の中で、彼女はソファに座っていて、彼は彼女の反対側に座っていた。ここで、はっきり言うと、ジョニーはどの位置にいるかちょっと分かりにくかった、個人的に。イレインさんが言ったことがちょっと分かりにくい。別の椅子とかソファに座ってるのか、同じソファに座ってるのか、ちょっと分かりにくかったかな。とにかく続く。彼のタトゥーについて話していた。もともとは、ウィノナ・ライダー・フォーエバー。と書いてあったけど、ウィノナ・ライダーと別れた時にワイン・フォーエバーに変えた。もう本当にワイン大好きですね。彼がそのことについて話していた時、アンバーは冗談だと思ったので笑った。その時に彼が彼女を引っ叩いたところで、スリムと書いてあったタトゥーも入れた。スリムはアンバーの愛称だった。二人が別れた時にスカムに変えた。そのね、弁護士が超シリアスでシリアスな感じで言っていたけど内容がバカバカしい。
And she laughed. And he up and slapped her. Now you see the rings that Mr. Depp has on him hurts when he slaps. And she was stunned. She had no idea what to think. And she kind of laughed thinking, well, maybe that was a joke. What just happened? And he slapped her again. And then she just froze and just looked. And then he hit her again, and this time it knocked her right off the sofa onto the ground. And she remembers her face was in this dirty, filthy carpet. That's what she remembers and fixated on, the dirty carpet. And she's thinking, oh my God, I have to leave. I have to leave. But I love him. I have to leave. But I love him. And she sat there for the longest time. She laid there for the longest time. Then Johnny came off the sofa, got on his knees, started crying, told her he was very, very sorry that he had done this. It would never happen again. And he said some very significant words. I thought I had put the monster away for good. That's what he said to her that day.
彼女が仕事をしないようにしたかった。新進の俳優として成功したいのに、彼女が何を着ていいか、彼はコントロールし始めた。役のオーディションを受けたいときに、彼女が彼にセリフを見せないといけなかった。彼は恋愛シーンやセックスシーンを却下した。彼女が今まで共演者と一緒に寝たと彼は主張した。そういう風にコントロールと感情的な虐待の繰り返しになった。はっきり言うとね、初めてこれについて聞いたとき、逆にね、普通じゃないと思った。私だけじゃなくて他の人も、あれこれ普通じゃない夫がね、奥さんにみんなにおっぱいを見せないでほしいとか普通じゃないかなそれ。
In Australia, when you heard Ben talk about Australia, he wrote the third day as Amber comes out after she's barricaded herself and gone through a lot, and I'll back up on that in a minute. She comes out, he's got mashed potatoes spread across the top. He's written along the wall of the staircase going down all kinds of nasty things about her, and Billy Bob Thornton, the last one she was in a co-star with, and, fucking ambition, and all kinds of things like that. And then he's written on the lampshades downstairs, and then he's got more on the mirrors. And then, on top of it, you've got all the broken glass everywhere, and you've got the liquor everywhere, and it's just, and then he's tried to urinate messages to her. That's the Johnny Depp. That's the other side. Now, you're going to hear that Amber tried to protect him all the way through. She didn't want the public to know this. She didn't want his kids to know this. And so she didn't tell people about it. Amber will testify about how Johnny would get so drunk and so drugged out that he would vomit all over himself and worse, lose control of his bowels. She would clean him up. And you'll see Bonnie Jacobs in these notes saying, don't do that. You're enabling him. Don't do it. Leave him there. But what would happen was his handlers would then take care of him if she left him. So as you go through those 3 days of Australia, some pretty horrendous things happen to her. He rips off her nightgown. He has her jammed up against a bar. He has hurled bottles and bottles at her. He has dragged her across the floor on the broken bottles and the liquor. He has punched her. He has kicked her. He tells her he's going to fucking kill her. He fucking hates her. He's pounding at her, pounding her. And then he penetrates her with a liquor bottle. That's the Johnny Depp that you're going to hear about in this case.
別の事件でジョニーはアンバーを殴り始めたので、ウィットニーは2人の間に割り込んだ。ウィットニーはアンバーの姉妹、妹なのかお姉さんなのかわからないけど、アンバーの姉妹ですね。ジョニーがウィットニーを階段から投げるか押し倒すとアンバーは思った。彼はそれをできる位置にいたので、だからアンバーは立ち上がってジョニーの顔を殴った。彼女によると唯一アグレッシブな一発だった。本当にこれを聞くとね、つまりアグレッシブじゃない方の一発を当たったのかアンバーの証言にこういう矛盾とか言い回しがちょっと変だからなんかうさんくさいなと
She'll testify about how many times they were in their fights, and she said, she's almost half his size. So she said, if I pushed him, he doesn't move. He pushes me, I go flying across the room. There isn't any, ability on her part to be the abuser.
さて、2015年12月の事件。これが一番最悪な事件だ。オーストラリアの事件も結構ひどかったけど、これはそれ以上にひどかった。ボトルレイプよりもひどかったの。何が起きたのでしょうか。あれよりひどいものはないでしょう。この場合、何かに対して怒った彼は、彼女の髪をつかみながら、アパート中彼女を引きずり回し、彼女を蹴り、殴り、髪も抜いた。ある時点で彼女は彼を見つめ、彼は彼女に頭突きをした。それにより両目の周りが黒ずんだ。次に階段を上がりながら彼女を引きずり、彼女をベッドに下ろし、足と膝を彼女の背中に当て、彼女を殴り続ける。彼女にファッキン憎いとかファッキン殺すと言いながら、ブーツがベッドフレームに挟まり、彼女を激しく叩いているうちにベッドフレームが割れた。それぐらい力を込めていた。彼女の顔を枕に押し付けたので窒息しそうになり、今回は本当に死ぬかと彼女は思った。この事件に関する被害の写真を見ることになる。紙の写真なども。また別の事件でクリスマスの頃にバハマにあるジョニーの島に行く予定だった人も数人いた。彼はそこでさえ彼女に暴行し、性的暴行もした。とにかく何回も彼女に性的暴行をしたと主張しているみたいですね。
So Amber goes to get the domestic violence TRO. You're going to see the letter that her lawyer wrote to Johnny Depp's lawyer that week, telling them that that's what she was going to do but giving them opportunity here to be able to resolve it, to get a mediator, just make sure that she's safe, that she can stay in the residence until they figure things out, that she can drive her vehicle until they figure it out, some attorney's fees, whatever. You're going to see the letter. So they knew, and it says right in there, she's going to go in on Friday. They chose not to go. They keep saying ex parte, but they chose not to appear, and they knew she was going to appear. Well, Amber didn't call TMZ, but somebody called TMZ to take all those photos that day. Now, you also heard them say that all kinds of people saw Amber that week, and she didn't have any bruises on her face. Well, let me show you this. This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp. She's an actor. Do you honestly think she would have left her apartment ever without makeup? Do you think that she ever would have wanted other people to see her bruises and her cuts? This was what she used. She became very adept at it. And you're going to hear the testimony from Amber about how she had to mix the different colors for the different days of the bruises as they developed in the different coloring, and how she would use these to touch those up to be able to cover those.
おっと、ここで問題発生。この化粧について話す動画をちょっと見せたい。では。
In opening statements, Amber Heard's female attorney made a very large deal over a makeup compact that she said that Amber Heard used to cover bruises. And then the makeup company released a TikTok stating that that compact was not available until after the divorce. That, by the way, looks completely untouched and brand new. So it's not this particular one, but she keeps saying this.
Well, let me show you this. This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp.
This is what she carried for the entire relationship. Let's see what the company who makes that exact conceal and cover palette, this one,
She's an
has
actress.
to say. On TikTok, Milani Cosmetics said, "You asked us. Let the record show that our correcting kit launched in 2017. I'm not going to play the Backyardigans music. If you want to see that, you can go to TikTok and take a look. But this is their TikTok. What? Carried in her purse for the entire relationship? Milani color correcting and concealer palette. Take note. Alleged abuse was around 2014 to 2016. Got divorced 2016. Makeup palette release date December 2017. They show them going through the offices at Milani Cosmetics. They show the exact palette and confirmed release 2017. Why does this matter? This matters because what they promised the testimony will show in opening statement is not going to be what the testimony can show, because this attorney stood up with her whole chest and said, this is what she used. She'll tell you how she mixed the colors. How did she mix the colors on something that didn't exist?
あっちゃー、これはダメですね。アンバーは後の証言で、別にこれ自体を使っていたわけじゃないよと、言っていたけど、別にこれ自体じゃない。これらしきものとか。これが初の矛盾ですね。証言が始まってないのにもう矛盾してる次に話したのはアダム・ワールドマン、ジョニーの弁護士の、発言、記事に書いてあった発言で、これによりジョニーは彼女を名誉毀損をしたと訴えたね。デップの弁護士であるアダム・ワールドマンは後でこう言った。アンバー・ハードとマスコミにいる彼女の友達は嘘の性的暴行による主張を利用し、目的に応じてそれを剣と盾として使った。彼女らは性的暴行のでっち上げの虚実を剣として使い、それで大衆とデップ氏を打ち叩いた。それが1個目の発言ね。発言は 3つある。2つ目、簡単に言うとこれは待ち伏せだった。でっち上げだった。警察を呼んでデップ氏に対しての罠を仕掛けた。しかし最初の企てでは失敗だった。警察官はペントハウスに来て徹底的に検査し、インタビューをし、体や所有物に対して被害はなかったと見たので帰った。だからアンバーと彼女の友達は少しワインをこぼしてその場にあるものをめちゃくちゃにして、弁護士と宣伝担当の指示に従ってそれらの証言を一致するようにし、2回目の呼び出しでまた911番に電話した。で、これが最後の発言。3つ目の発言。デップの弁護士であるアダム・ワールドマンはこう言った。アンバー・ハードの親友で MeToo 運動家であるアマンダ・デ・カドネがハード氏への支持を取り消し、彼女への反対証言をするとき、ジョニー・デップに対するハード氏の虐待でっち上げ話の終わりの始まりだとわかるでしょう。今回の動画はこれで終わりかな。次回は、次回というより次にアップする動画は多分ローダ・ザ・リングの、動画シリーズ、そっち系の動画をアップすると思う。あと忙しい人のためのジョニー・デ裁判 という、短い動画を作ったので、それをアップするときに、見てくれたら嬉しいなと楽しい感じにしてみたので、普通のジョニーで動画シリーズと比べて、ちょっと違うよね。こっちの方がちょっと冷静な、説明冷静っていうか、とにかく次回のためのメモをまだ書いてないので、結構時間がかかると思う。確か次はジョニー・デップの姉妹の証言だったと思う。裁判の初日はまだ終わってない。もうこんなに時間が経ってるのに初日まだ終わってないこのシリーズ結構時間かかりそうだね。頑張るしかないね。それではまたね。